The Northeast is taking shelter this morning as they await what could be a historic winter storm.
Plus, the suspect who was shot and killed by a store owner after an attempted robbery is identified. Coming up, why the store owner was already on alert.
And a new concern for people who have trouble falling asleep at night. That's ahead in today's Health Alert.
Bringing you coverage you can count on. This is CBS 19 News This Morning.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 27th. I'm Dana Hughey.
And I'm Clint Yeatts. We're so glad you're joining us this morning. Well, we're expecting another unseasonable January day here in East Texas.
Yeah, let's check in with Scott Fossey. Is it going to be gorgeous again, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. We're enjoying spring right now, still in the kind of the heart of winter. Yeah. Yes, and you look over other parts of the country, they're dealing with blizzard-like conditions. You all will be talking about that and showing us some video here in just a few moments. And so while they are getting the snow plows out across sections of the Northeast and upstate New York, we're breaking out the short sleeve shirts here in East Texas. Our live Doppler radar this morning showing some cloud cover, mid and high level clouds down to our south and west this morning. Not of any consequence, though. We're in for a gorgeous day today. Here's what you can plan on in your Tuesday day planners. 62 by 10 a.m., up close to 70 at noon. Your high today all the way up to 73 degrees. We're going to have another carbon copy day tomorrow on your Wednesday. Some cooler air, though, is expected by the end of the week, and some rain as we slide into the weekend. More on that coming up.
All right. Thank you, Scott. It's 5:31 now, and time to talk about that blizzard that is bearing down on the Northeast.
Yeah, as much as 3 feet of snow predicted in some areas across New England, along with hurricane-force winds. In parts of New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, it is illegal to be out on the roads driving this morning.
And if you are planning to travel to the Northeast, chances are that yours was one of thousands of flights canceled. Trains are also shut down, and schools, as you can imagine, are closed for today. Some breaking news this morning. Gunmen have taken hostages at Libyan's luxury hotel. It happened after attackers stormed the hotel. At least 3 guards have been killed by the gunmen. The hotel was evacuated before the attackers clashed with the guards and blew up a car bomb.
A follow-up now on an attempted robbery that ended with a store owner shooting and killing the suspect. Smith County Sheriff's investigators say 24-year-old Cavassier Butler tried holding up the Mi Pueblo food store on Morningside Drive Sunday night, but we're told the owner was on alert after someone told him that 2 suspicious-looking men were asking about what time the store closed. When Butler showed up to the store wearing a ski mask and armed with a gun, the 2 men exchanged gunfire. Butler was shot and killed. The store owner was not hurt. A grand jury will now decide if he'll face any charges. Meanwhile, investigators are still looking for another suspect, a black man believed to be driving a 2-door green Pontiac with tinted windows. He was spotted at the store before the robbery.
An online activist group is claiming responsibility for hacking into the city of Longview's computer information systems in response to last week's deadly shooting at the police station.
We will no longer stand for this.
Now, this is the video from someone claiming to be with the notorious hacking group Anonymous. The person in the video says the hacking was done in retaliation for officers using lethal force on children. Early autopsy results show 17-year-old Christiana Quinard suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the chest and torso after walking into the police station with a knife. It's the 7th officer-involved shooting in Longview in 2 years, after the city had 0 such shootings for more than 30 years prior to 2013.
We've had several in the last couple of years. We certainly don't train our officers to go out and look for those. We don't train our officers to, only rely on deadly force. They have a lot of options on their belt prior to that.
The Texas Rangers are investigating the shooting. Officer Christy Bryan says it could be several months before the case is presented to a grand jury. Meanwhile, Anonymous claims it's organizing a rally outside the Longview Police Station on February 7th.
A furniture distribution warehouse catches fire in Lindale, causing more than $1 million in damage. Thick black smoke could be seen for miles Monday as couches and fabric used to make them burned inside the building on County Road 496. Firefighters from several surrounding fire departments were called out to put out this fire. The fire was contained, but the building is in danger of collapsing. The owner of the warehouse suffered some minor injuries as he tried to move a truck away from the fire.
New this morning, Facebook and Instagram are back online. The social media sites experienced a widespread outage for about 40 minutes earlier this morning. Facebook says the outage affected customers in the United States, Asia, and Australia. Facebook has about 1.25 billion users, and Instagram has about 300 million.
The FBI is investigating an alleged ISIS threat against a Southwest Airlines jet flying from San Diego to Dallas. The threat was made on Twitter against Flight 4200, claiming there was a nuclear bomb on board. It's similar to several other false threats made against flights over the weekend. In those cases, the planes were either evacuated on arrival or diverted to make a quicker landing. Passengers on board Flight 4200 say they were not made aware of any of this, and some said they were happy about that.
I think it only would have lended to maybe some chaos on the flight. So the fact that we are here and all is well shows that those in control do have it under control.
Southwest Airlines released the following statement Monday. Any threat or alleged threat against the safety of our employees, customers, or aircraft is a matter we take very seriously. We are working with the relevant authorities to ensure the safety of this and every flight. It is our policy not to comment any further on matters of security.
Looking ahead, a civil trial for 17 people who were hurt or had family members killed during a Midland Veterans Parade is set to begin on Monday. The trial in the lawsuit involves those who did not reach a confidential out-of-court settlement with Union Pacific Railroad. The accident happened in Midland back in 2012. The parade float filled with wounded veterans was hit by a train as it crossed a railroad track. 4 people were killed in that accident. Well, the Patriots and Seahawks gather at the U.S. Airways Center for Super Bowl Media Day.
Now, journalists from around the world will be there, and the Patriots will likely face questions about, Deflategate. Pat's owner says his team did not deflate footballs used in the AFC Championship game. He wants an apology once they're cleared. The big game, of course, is coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to sort of solve.
I'm done with the flat football thing.
Let's just move on.
Let's just move on.
Move on to the Super Bowl.
Let's get ready for the game. I mean,
I bet these balls will be perfect.
Yeah,
nice
I read somewhere
inflated.
they're going to have a regular person. I guess they'll probably have armed guards around the footballs or something. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Well, if you suffer leg cramps at night, you'll want to hear what a new study finds out about that painful condition.
Plus, it's almost addicting. You know, popping that bubble wrap that your packages come in. You do it, don't you, Clint?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
We'll find out how one school is trying to break a record with all of that in mind. Taking you outside now. This is our live cam in Tyler this morning. Looks a lot better here in East Texas than it does in the Northeast. It is only 45 degrees here this morning, 72% humidity, and everything's calm out there. Scott Fossey has a forecast to plan your Tuesday coming up.
There's nothing like the start of a brand new day. We'll make sure you're ready for it. You're watching CBS 19 this morning. CBS 19 closed captioning is brought to you by Southside Bank. Southside Bank. Banking made easy. We promise. Your local news leader, here's your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Scott Fossey.
20 minutes now before the hour of 6 o'clock, 5:40 on a Tuesday morning. Pretty nice morning across the region. Should have a nice sunrise. We've got some mid and high level clouds across the southern tier of East Texas this morning and right along the I-45 corridor. Of little consequence to us here in East Texas today. We'll also see a dry cool front marching its way very slowly south across our area during the day today, just helping reinforce the dry air already in place. Check out these numbers. 69 by lunchtime today. The wind goes calm midday today. Picks up out of the southeast this afternoon, but it won't be breezy at all. 73 should be your daytime high today. Unbelievably, unseasonably warm for this time of the year, with temperatures dropping back down to around 71 by your drive home. Not much in the way of cloud cover today, at least here across the eastern side of the state. That goes for the same in the overnight tonight. Temperatures in the overnight hours tonight drop off into the upper 40s. Tomorrow, once again, we'll hit a high of 73. We'll be down in the mid 50s on Thursday. 67, a bit cooler cooler then as well. Our next chance for rain starting in here Friday late in the day, overnight Friday night. And as we talked yesterday, plan on a soggy upcoming weekend, especially Saturday night into Sunday. And it will be cooler, back down to where we should be this time of the year, temperature-wise, with highs Saturday and Sunday in the lower 50s. You can check out that 7-day planner on our website, cbs19.tv.
It's always nice to get a little break, though.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing snow up in the northeast.
Yeah, in a big way.
We're enjoying short sleeve shirt weather, just go figure. So enjoy it here over the next couple of days. And, suffice it to say, if you've got travel plans, obviously, anywhere across the country, especially east of the Mississippi River, definitely call ahead. A lot of cancellations, obviously, flight delays, and it's going to cause quite a snarl with air traffic across the country for the next few days.
Yeah, thousands of flights canceled. Not too many people getting to the northeast.
No, they're not.
All right.
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, yes. Don't want to go there today.
All right, thanks,
Scott.
You bet.
Well, Monday was Bubble Wrap Appreciation Day, and Oral Roberts University celebrated that in a big way.
Yeah, take a look. The school is trying to break the Guinness World Record for the most number of people popping bubble wrap simultaneously for 2 minutes. More than 1,100 Golden Eagles took part in ORU's Pop Till You Drop Challenge. Current record was set last May by a Minnesota elementary school. 942 people took part in that challenge.
The school used 6,000 square feet of bubble wrap. ORU won't know the official outcome for a couple of weeks. Looks like Chick-fil-A cow got it on it, too. I don't know if that was their mascot or
everybody's
Chick-fil-A.
going after it. It's kind of
a stress reliever, I think.
It is, until somebody else does it, and you're like, stop it.
My kids love to lay it out on the ground and jump on it.
Get after it.
Get a big one out.
Who would have thought it was so fun?
It is. I mean, I know as a kid, I would always ask my grandparents, do you have any of that bubble wrap laying around? Well, a Dallas teenager is arrested for the death of a newborn baby. Hear what police have to say this morning. Coming up next hour.
And next, why young people may need to monitor cholesterol levels. You're watching CBS 19 this morning. Coverage you can count on.
Live from your local news leader with everything you need to know before you go. You're watching CBS 19 this morning.
Welcome back. It's 5:46. If you're just waking up and joining us, here are a few stories that we're following for you this morning. 24-year-old Fossey Butler is identified as the attempted robbery suspect shot and killed by a store owner. It happened at Mi Pueblo food store on Morningside Drive Sunday night. The notorious group Anonymous is claiming responsibility for hacking into the city of Longview's computer information systems. The person in a video says the hacking was done in retaliation for last week's deadly shooting at the Longview police station. And a Smith County grand jury decides there's not enough evidence to indict 13 former jailers. They could have faced state jail felony charges for falsifying inmate records. A health alert this morning. Healthy young adults may want to keep a closer eye on their cholesterol. That's according to researchers at Duke University. They found even mildly elevated levels between the ages of 35 and 55 hikes the risk of heart disease later by nearly 40%. And a possible new link between insomnia and high blood pressure. Researchers in China studied hundreds of chronic insomniacs. They found that those who take longer than 17 minutes to fall asleep at night are 400 times more likely to have hypertension. And according to a new Canadian study, painful leg cramps at night are twice as common during warm weather months. Researchers tracked Google searches and prescriptions for leg cramp remedies, and they found that they peaked in July.
5:48 happening now. Today marks the 29th anniversary of the Space Shuttle Challenger tragedy. It was 1986. The shuttle exploded 73 seconds after liftoff from Cape Canaveral in Florida. All 7 crew members, including a school teacher, Krista McAuliffe, were killed. Challenger's crew will be honored during NASA's Day of Remembrance at Arlington National Cemetery. That will happen later today.
Still remember where I was then.
Still remember it almost like yesterday.
I was in 5th grade, and all the teachers were watching that. We were all watching because it was the first time a teacher had gone on board one of the space shuttles.
Yeah.
Day you'll never forget.
Yep, that is for sure. Well, coming up, a Texas-based hawker of weight loss supplements will be paying millions.
That story is ahead in this morning's Texas Business Report.
And as we kickstart your Tuesday, we've got an unseasonably warm day ahead for us, not only today, but also tomorrow. We get our next significant cold front, though, knocking at our back door come Thursday, and it will definitely start to change our weather picture and pattern Friday and as we head into the upcoming weekend. As we sail into the break, a look at our live Weather Authority cam on the streets in the Rose City of Tyler, where it's currently 45 degrees. We'll talk about how nice today and tomorrow is going to be and take a sneak peek at your weekend ahead. All that and more when we return. It's 5:49. We'll be back right after this.
Covering all of East Texas, you're watching KYTX, CBS 19 News 10 at 10. Here's your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Scott Fossey.
8 minutes now before the hour of 6 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Let me show you what we're not going to have today here across the piney woods of East Texas. You're looking at a scene out of the New England area. We think this is Long Island, New York, and if it is, it's looking at 10 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. The flurries occurring there, and as I check out the computer, the wind chill at this location, -2, and they expect quite a bit of snow today. Total snow accumulations of between about 3 and 4 inches across that section of the New England corridor. That on top of what they've already received. Kind of a wintry mess there across sections of New England. We contrast that with this picture this morning. Our CBS Live Weather Authority cam on Broadway in Tyler. You can see there, absolutely no white stuff this morning. Pavements dry, temperature 45 degrees, calm wind, and we're in for a really nice day today. How nice? Here you go. 69 at noon. Your daytime high all the way up to 73 degrees today. How about that? By the time you head home this evening, we're back down to around 71. This coming when we should typically be seeing temperatures in the low to mid 50s for our highs for this time of the year. So plan on getting out and enjoying East Texas today. Kind of a carbon copy day shaping up for us tomorrow. Then some changes in store for us as we go into the day on Thursday, Friday, and the weekend looking pretty soggy. If you've got outdoor plans this weekend, we're already starting to change those as we look ahead. Guys, more on that coming up. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Scott. Well, things are getting bad in the Texas economy.
And American Airlines mechanics make a damaging claim against the airline. Jane King is at the NASDAQ with those stories and more in this morning's Texas Business Report.
Hello, Texas. The crash in oil prices is weighing on the state's economy. The Dallas Federal Reserve says business activity in January was down compared to December, although energy stocks did lead a stock market rally yesterday after the OPEC Secretary General said oil prices may have hit a floor. Well, the income gap is growing in Texas. The latest numbers from the left-leaning Economic Policy Institute say the wealthiest 50% in the state accounted for all of the income growth in 2013. Well, a Texas-based hawker of weight loss supplements is paying a hefty settlement. Lindsay Duncan's companies made millions claiming green coffee bean supplements led to weight loss. He'll pay $9 million in refunds. And the mechanics at American Airlines are making some big claims. They say managers breached FAA rules to get its merger with U.S. Airways through and planes on the tarmac. The Wall Street Journal says American Airlines disputed the allegations in the whistleblower suit. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jane King with your Texas Business Report.
All right, thanks, Jane. Time for our water cooler question this morning. The average person does this about 6 times a week. What do you think it might be?
Bobby says hit the snooze button.
Oh, maybe more than, maybe a day.
I do that every week.
That's a great answer.
And then Melinda says make up the bed. Patricia's going with do a good thing for somebody.
Who makes up their bed 6 times a week? Are you supposed to?
7 days a week.
Yeah. Wow.
Take a guess on Facebook or Twitter at KYTX CBS 19. The answer's coming up at about 6:45. Coming up at 6, a special little girl continues her mission to make sure that police officers know they're appreciated.
Plus, a transgender woman is found shot to death in her car. Coming up, hear from her roommates this morning. You're watching CBS 19 This Morning, coverage you can count on.
KYTX CBS 19 News. It's coverage you can count on everywhere.
News no longer is just about the people sitting on the news desk. It's about the viewer as well. We want to hear from our viewers. We want to know what's important to our viewers. And that's where that interaction comes in. That's where social media comes in. The viewer is now a part of the newscast and a part of the news gathering.
The issue for most people these days is not that they don't have enough information. They have too much information. So part of what we do is to give context, we give perspective, and we actually help our viewers. That's our job.
News experience does matter. Join the most experienced news team in East Texas. Mike Landis and Jillian Sheraton report the news that matters from around the world to around the corner. CBS 19 News, coverage you can count on. The CBS 19 Cafe Coffee Mug is brought to you by Choice Home Care.
6 states under states of emergency this morning because of a blizzard bearing down on the Northeast. Coming up, how millions of people are being affected.
Plus, the roommate of a transgender woman found shot to death in her car speaks out about the murder.
And new information from NASA about manned test flights to the International Space Station possibly as early as 2017.
Bringing you coverage you can count on. This is CBS 19 News This Morning.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 27th. I'm Clint Yeatts.
And I'm Dana Hughey. Thanks so much for starting your morning with us here at CBS 19 this morning. Our weather here has been nothing short of amazing the past few days. Of course, that's not the situation in the Northeast, so we're going to soak this up as long as we can, right?
Usually not the situation for us.
No, you're exactly right. In fact, this time of the year, we should be seeing high temperatures in the lower 50s, and typically, obviously, we're a lot colder than that. That's a 30-year average as far as your high for today. And we're starting off really nice this morning. We've got dry roadways across East Texas. Pavement is all clear this morning and dry, so no problems from a morning commute standpoint. You're looking at our live weather authority cam on Loop 281 in Longview. Traffic moving along nicely. What traffic is out on the road at this crazy hour this morning? 41, the present temperature there. We're going to warm up nicely today. 69 at noon under sunny skies. And look at your high today. We top out at 73 degrees.
Come on.
Absolutely. We're going to bring it again tomorrow as well, and then we start to cool off by the end of the week. We'll talk more about that coming up, guys. Back to you.
All right, that looks great. Thanks, Scott. Well, happening now, millions of people are being told to stay indoors and avoid travel this morning due to a massive winter storm affecting most of the northeastern states.
CBS 19's Andrea Martinez is following this story and joins us now. Andrea, how is this affecting travel there this morning?
Dana, thousands of flights have been canceled across the U.S., and everything from subways to even ferries are closed from New Jersey all the way to Manhattan. Snowplows faced the brunt of the northeast blizzard overnight as snow and strong winds battered Long Island. Police and Humvees patrolled the snow-covered roads as the nor'easter kicked into gear Monday evening, parking itself over the East Coast, feeding off the ocean. 6 states have declared emergencies. In Massachusetts, Connecticut, and parts of New York, it's illegal to be out on the roads driving.
It's a possible misdemeanor. It's fines up to $300.
Visibility and everything. Not too good.
Another big worry this morning, hurricane-force wind gusts reaching speeds of over 75 miles an hour. Some places might be without power for 24 to 48 hours.
Andrea, and this is affecting classes there as well?
Yes, most school classes in the storm's path are canceled for the day.
All right, thank you so much for that. And there really is no relief in sight.
Yeah, that's for sure. The blizzard warning remains in effect all the way until Wednesday. Our prayers certainly with the folks in the Northeast today.
Fortunately, a lot of people are saying it was not as bad in some places as they'd had imagined. So
not quite the quantity of snow, but it's still a lot of snow in that wind. Whew, man,
they had a quick response, didn't they? Well, Tyler police detectives are searching for clues in the shooting death of a transgender woman early yesterday morning. Tyrone Lee Underwood, or Ty for short, was found shot to death in her car on 24th Street. Police were called to the neighborhood after a 911 caller thought she saw a car hit a telephone pole and then heard gunshots. Police say Underwood was shot and then tried to drive away, but her car got stuck in a grassy area. Friends are looking for answers in Underwood's death.
What I can tell you is this is hate. You know what I'm saying? This is something hate because someone was different.
Tyler police detectives say they do have a few leads, but nothing substantial enough for a warrant yet. If you have any information on this, call the Tyler Police Department, or you can call Tyler Smith County Crime Stoppers.
A follow-up about the murder of a Kilgore businessman. The search warrant reveals that the man suspected of killing Kilgore saddle maker John Cecil J. Clements Jr. was identified from a sexual assault report filed by the suspect hours before Clements' death. Dustin Lynn Van Holst is in the Rusk County Jail on a $1 million bond. Rusk County Sheriff Jeff Price says evidence points to Van Holst as the person who killed Clements at his home on County Road 291 near Kilgore. A Dallas teenager is charged with murder in the drowning of an infant.
Police officers led the girl away in handcuffs from the apartment complex that they were called to early Monday morning. Inside one of the units, officers say the teen was caring for a 2-month-old baby girl. Officers say the crime is a tough one to deal with.
It's tough. I mean, it breaks my heart anytime that, you know, you respond to a call and someone so innocent. There's no one more innocent than an infant child.
The family who got to the scene were overwhelmed by grief after getting the news. One woman was loaded into an ambulance after fainting. Police say another teen was in the apartment at the time, but is not believed to be involved in the baby's death. A man is arrested in connection with the disappearance of a Georgia couple. Police say Elray Bud Runyon and his wife June disappeared last week. They left their Atlanta home to meet a man claiming to sell a 1966 Ford Mustang convertible. The couple's car was found in a lake, their bodies not far away. Investigators traced their last phone call to car's seller, 28-year-old Ronnie Adrian J. Towns. Now, he's been named as a suspect in the couple's disappearance. He was arrested on charges of giving false statements and attempted theft.
A Smith County grand jury no-billed 13 former Smith County jailers who could have faced state jail felony charges for falsifying inmate records. The investigation began in August when Smith County Sheriff Larry Smith learned that jailers were signing off that they checked on inmates when they didn't. Many jailers resigned or were fired during the initial investigation. The Texas Rangers were brought in for a criminal investigation. Ranger Brent Davis presented the findings to a grand jury, but jurors decided there wasn't enough evidence to indict any of the former jailers.
We respect their decision. However, that does not nullify the fact that they entered false information onto government documents in violation of policy and state law.
None of those jailers will be rehired by the sheriff's office. Inmates will be moving into the new jail tower in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Sheriff Smith says the design of that building will help supervisors hold jailers accountable.
A new report finds 125 people falsely convicted of crimes were exonerated last year in the U.S. The record number of exonerations was due in part to 33 cases in Texas in which people had their drug convictions dismissed after lab tests determined they never had illegal substances. The National Registry of Exonerations report finds that there were 34 more exonerations in 2014 than there were in 2013, and previously 2013 had the highest total. Well, new and trending this morning, fire alarms are credited with saving lives every day, but for some, regular fire alarms don't work.
Yeah, that's why several organizations in Oklahoma have teamed up to provide fire alarms for those who are deaf or suffer from hearing loss. A Tulsa woman says the device helped save her life.
The alarm had been installed in her home just 30 minutes before it went off.
We were talking, and I looked, and I could see down the hall, way down there, the strobe.
Marie says she had started to melt chocolate on the stove for candy, and that's when she went to call her husband and on the video phone and tell him about the new alarm. She says she never meant to test it out so soon.
Well, what a blessing to those folks, for sure.
It is. You know, it's one of those things I just hadn't thought about. But, yeah, they have to have a completely different kind of system for them.
Yeah, they have different things in their homes with their phones and other alerts, and a fire alarm is an important thing to have.
So glad she's okay.
Yeah.
Well, a 10-year-old Tyler girl will soon be on her way to New York to continue a mission that she started in December.
It all started with 2 simple words: thank you, to officers in East Texas and across the country. Savannah Solis was presented with an all-expense-paid trip to attend a memorial for one of the officers slain in New York last month. She's 10 years old. The surprise trip was presented to her during a special ceremony at Kissam Elementary on Monday. Savannah says officers need to be thanked for all that they do, so she just started making cards to do that.
When I started at Tyler PD, I didn't know I'd do the others, and I went to a lot of places.
Savannah started making cards for the officers in East Texas over her Christmas vacation. So far, she's delivered over 200 cards to different police stations across the area.
I mean, she's making a huge difference, isn't she?
And, you know, what an impact that has on the guys and gals in PD, hopefully, when they get those cards from her.
It's amazing how long a thank you will go, you know?
That's for sure. Well, are you ready for some crawfish?
Always.
Why this crawfish season is looking bright? Or maybe tasty, we should say. That's coming up.
Plus, a lawsuit is filed against the doctors who treated comic Joan Rivers. Coming up, what her daughter is claiming this morning. I want to take you outside now. This is Longview, our live cam. 41 degrees this morning, 79% humidity, and the winds aren't too bad out there. And there's no rain falling again today. What you can expect for your Tuesday, coming right up.
KYTX CBS 19 News. It's coverage you can count on everywhere. Your local news leader, here's your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Scott Fossey.
6:13 now on a Tuesday morning. Good morning, East Texas. Our live Doppler radar with satellite overlaid on top of it, showing all dry conditions across the piney woods of East Texas this morning. Some mid and high level clouds out along the I-45 and I-35 corridors, just starting to impact some of our extreme southern and southwestern counties. Trinity County up toward the Houston County vicinity, but these clouds of little consequence at all in our weather picture and pattern today. We're in for a mostly sunny day. Temperatures unseasonably warm again for this time of the year. We'll be pushing up close to 70 by noon. Look for a high today of 73 with a southeast wind at right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, everyone's focused obviously up here in this part of the country with the near historic proportion of snow that's been dropping and falling across the New England states over the last 2 days. That continued, as you can see, stretching from Washington, D.C. all the way up through the New England corridor, Boston, New Hampshire, sections of upstate New York really inundated with the snow. As Clint and Dana have been telling you, and you'll be hearing about all day today, hundreds, if not thousands of flights canceled or heavily delayed, obviously. Canceled for this part of the country, but will be impacting air travel all across the eastern seaboard. So if you've got business anywhere, I would say east of the Mississippi River, call ahead, find out if your flight number one's even going through, and if it is, how significantly the delay could be. Over the nation's heartland, we're calm and quiet. Some high-level clouds filtering across sections of the Lone Star State. Our next weather system starting to take form over sections of the desert southwest and southern California. It's a broad area of low pressure aloft, what we call an upper-level low, that will slowly over the next several days start to impact our weather patterns here, especially as we go into Thursday in combination with a cold front then that will be dropping south of the Red River. By Thursday, temperatures turn cooler. We start to see a chance for rain in here Friday night. Saturday and Sunday looking very soggy as finally that upper level low pressure system starts to wobble in our general direction by the middle to latter part of the upcoming weekend. Temperatures right now across the lower 48, very cold across the snowpacked New England area, 15 in Boston, 14 in Buffalo, 27 in Chicago. We move a little further southwest, still freezing in the nation's heartland. We drop south of the Red River, 46 right now in sections of North Texas at DFW Airport. Waco, you're at 38. It's 49 currently in Houston, and off to the east of us in Shreveport-Bossier, currently 40 degrees. Temperatures now here in East Texas. Check these out. 37 in Nacogdoches and Henderson. Longview, you're at 40s. So is Gilmer. It's 43 right now in the Rose City, 43 also in Chandler, and we're looking at lower 40s along the I-30 corridor as well. Temperatures increase rapidly today. Ample sunshine around the region. Winds go calm at noon. They'll pick up out of a more southeasterly direction this afternoon, and that'll help warm the mercury up even even more. Unseasonably warm today, 73. We'll peg that again tomorrow. Thursday, a little cooler now as we start to get the leading edge of that cooler air dropping in from the north. On Friday, we'll be back down in the 50s where we should be this time of the year. Rain begins late Friday, continues Saturday into Sunday. Could be heavy at times. Rainfall totals on average this upcoming weekend between about an inch and a half. Highs Saturday and Sunday in the lower 50s. That's your 7-day planner, so enjoy the unseasonably warm spring-like weather over the next couple of days. You can check out our forecast on our website, cbs19.tv. Dana?
All right, thank you, Scott. It's 6:16 now. In entertainment news, the daughter of comic Joan Rivers files a malpractice lawsuit against the Manhattan clinic where her mother died. Melissa Rivers is also suing the doctors who treated her mother before her death. Joan Rivers died September 4th after she stopped breathing during a procedure at the clinic. The lawsuit charges doctors perform unauthorized medical procedures and even snapped a selfie as her vital signs were deteriorating. Regis Philbin is making a brief comeback on late-night TV. The former talk show star is filling in for 2 nights as host of CBS's The Late Late Show. Regis was David Letterman's most frequent guest, and tonight the tables are turned. Letterman will be his guest. And Emma Watson has signed on to play Belle in the Disney live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast. The Harry Potter star confirmed the project on Facebook, saying it's time to start singing lessons. Production begins this year. No word yet on who will play the Beast.
She'd make a great Belle.
I think she'd make a really good Belle. You know, that movie was huge when it came out. Kind of started all of the subsequent
the whole Disney roles.
Yeah.
Glad to see Regis on TV. I love Regis.
I love Regis too. He's fun.
He is.
Well, a pilot runs out of gas while flying over the ocean. Coming up, a frightening crash landing and an amazing rescue.
Plus, this year's cotton harvest is on the road to recovery, but one of the big questions is, will the increase in cotton impact our wallets? That's coming up. Right now, though, we want to do our water cooler question today. The average person does this about 6 times a week. What do you think it might be?
Jerry says run errands. Don't you sometimes feel like you're doing
once
that
a day, something like that.
all the time?
Yeah.
And we're also hearing this morning from Jeff, go to the grocery store.
Well, that's a lot in a week.
Just don't go when you're hungry. Take a guess on Facebook or Twitter at KYTX CBS 19. The answer coming up at 6:45.
Get your news when you want it. Visit cbs19.tv. Live from your local news leader with everything you need to know before you go. You're watching CBS 19 this morning.
Well, if you're just waking up and joining us, here are a few of the stories we're following this morning. A blizzard is bearing down on the Northeast in parts of New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. It's even illegal to be out on the roads this morning. Thousands of flights and trains have been canceled, and, of course, schools there are closed today. Tyler police detectives are searching for clues in the shooting death of Tyrone Lee Underwood. Police say Underwood was shot and then tried to drive away, but her car got stuck in a grassy area. She was found dead in her car on 24th Street. Today is the 29th anniversary of the Space Shuttle Challenger tragedy. 1986, the shuttle exploded 73 seconds after liftoff, killing all 7 crew members on board. Business news this morning. Cotton producers are seeing one of the best harvests since 2010. Farmers say this year's cotton is the best yield in at least the last 4 years. It still may take a few successful cotton harvests before we start to see prices go down on things like jeans and other cotton-related items at the stores. China also plays a big role in determining the overall cost of cotton, along with the amount of rain that we get throughout the year. BP is making a case that it shouldn't pay the top penalty of $13.7 billion. That's for polluting the Gulf of Mexico 5 years ago. The oil giant struggled for 87 days to contain millions of gallons of oil spilling into the Gulf. Its expert witness called the company's response exemplary. The president of Clean Gulf Associates says the long-term impact of the chemicals BP used to break down the oil is unclear. BP PLC's market value is $122 billion, but it says paying the top fine would strain the finances of its its exploration unit. And NASA will save millions in launch costs once its Commercial Crew program launches in a few years. SpaceX and Boeing say they are on track to send manned test flights to the International Space Station in 2017. The average cost of a seat aboard the SpaceX Dragon or Boeing CST-100 will be $58 million. Under the latest NASA contract, Russia has been charging the U.S. a whopping $71 million a seat. Coming up, the investigation into the attacks in Benghazi, Libya, and the deaths of 4 Americans continues today. And next, millions of people are affected as the Northeast gets pounded by what could be a historic winter storm.
Let's take a look now at some upcoming local events. Today, the SFA College of Fine Arts and School of Music will present Charles Hertz at a guest trombone recital. It will be at the Cole Concert Hall in Nacogdoches. Starts at 7:30 p.m. And January 29th, the Read Aloud crowd will be at the Tyler Public Library beginning at 10:30 in the morning. For more information and other upcoming events, visit our website, cbs19.tv. Head to the Go spot at the top of the page.
Social media is changing the way news is delivered. Choose CBS 19 News on Facebook for up-to-date news and information sent directly to you. We deliver you the news that matters to you and your family. Choose CBS 19 News. CBS 19 News, your weather authority for East Texas. Live from your local news leader with everything you need to know before you go. You're watching CBS 19 this morning.
6:27, welcome back. Hope your day is off to a great start. God, wasn't it great yesterday? Great weekend. And man, it's whoever thought we'd say we're loving January.
No, that's exactly right. And we're saying it this year, aren't we? And I'll tell you what,
a couple times.
After today, you're going to be, checking your phone to make sure it's still January because it's going to feel a lot more like March across the East Texas area. Our live Doppler radar with satellite overlaid on top of it, showing a few clouds out there this morning across the southern and southwestern tier of our area. Generally, those counties bordering, say, the I-45 corridor and just off to the east of there as well. Little consequence in our weather picture and pattern today will make for a nice sunrise in the southern sections of East Texas. Pavements dry here across the area this morning. Should not impact weather-wise anyway your morning commute whatsoever. We've got a gorgeous day today, and kiddos, that translates into a really nice bus stop forecast for you. Sunny skies, your high today, all the way up to 73 degrees with a southeast wind at right around 5 miles per hour. And if you like that, we're going to stamp it again tomorrow. Looks really good tomorrow. Some big changes on store for us, though, by the end of the week. Not nearly as big as what they're seeing up across the New England states. My goodness gracious. Fortunately, it will cool off a little bit and feel a bit more like winter here in East Texas by the tail end of the week. And this weekend's looking pretty wet, so keep that in mind with your outdoor plans.
Enjoy it while you can.
That's a great way of saying it. You bet.
Right.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Looking ahead now, a House committee today holds its third public hearing on the 2012 attacks in Benghazi, Libya. 4 Americans were killed. Promises of bipartisanship and cooperation in a congressional investigation have turned into finger-pointing and accusations of political grandstanding. Democrats say the panel's Republican chairman has excluded them from crucial steps in the investigation. Republicans say that Democrats are playing politics.
New this morning, the death toll from General Motors' faulty ignition switches has climbed to 50. Dozens of claims are still under review. People involved in accidents related to the switches have 4 more days to file their claims.
Ceremonies are being held this morning to mark the 70th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. Nazis murdered more than 1 million people, mostly Jews, at the concentration camp during the Holocaust. Irving Roth has a permanent reminder of his time at Auschwitz. Every prisoner there was tattooed with an identification number. When Roth was 14, he and his family were shipped to the most notorious of Adolf Hitler's concentration camps. His grandparents and cousins were sent straight to the gas chamber. Irving survived. He now travels the world to tell his story to students. He says hatred still exists and warns history can repeat itself.
Similar thing can happen. Not necessarily to the Jews, just taking simple hatred and pushing it to the limit.
Irving Roth came to New York in 1947, became an engineer, got married, and had 2 children. Well, caught on tape, a frightening crash landing and amazing rescue in the Pacific Ocean on Sunday.
U.S. Coast Guard video shows a small Cirrus plane that ran into trouble over the Pacific Ocean Sunday afternoon. Pilot Lou Morton was flying the SR-22 from California to Hawaii when he started running out of fuel about 250 miles off the coast of Maui.
So he radioed the Hawaii National Guard, telling them he planned to ditch the plane. Authorities guided him toward a cruise ship, and about 4 hours later, with fuel running out, Morton releases the plane's emergency parachute.
As soon as he deployed his parachutes, we were following him, and basically what we did, we continued following his track as much as possible.
Coordination with Holland was more than impressive. So their work with their team when I was on the water, getting me out of there and getting me onto the boat as quickly as possible, was great.
After Morton released the chute, the plane nosedived toward the Pacific, then leveled off and made a vertical landing in the ocean. Morton made his way out of the plane into a life craft.
The cruise ship rescued him. He was in good condition. Astonishingly, a second small plane low on fuel crash landed also Sunday evening near Oahu. 3 adults and a child were rescued.
The NTSB is investigating both of those incidents.
Wow. All of that caught on tape, and
I got a little nervous just thinking about all of it, you know?
Well, in the picture you see it, and then the propeller just stops, and
a lot had to happen in a quick time.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
Yeah, it sure did.
News for your family now. If you love crawfish like I do, listen up. The mudbugs are set for their best season in years, and the season has already started, and it's only January. That's because we've had a lot of rain this year. Last year, the cold winter made the mudbugs burrow. They stayed in the mud and they didn't grow. Seafood experts say this is the growing weather that they needed to make all of those crawfish grow, and we can enjoy them later. Well, Facebook and Instagram are back online. The social media sites experienced a widespread outage for about 40 minutes earlier this morning. Facebook says the outage affected customers in the United States, Asia, and Australia. And in a statement on the USA Today's website, Facebook says, quote, "This was not the result of a third-party attack, but instead it occurred after they introduced a change that affected the configuration systems. However, Lizard Squad, a group notorious for attention-seeking antics online, claimed responsibility on Twitter for those outages." For more stories that benefit your family, visit CBS19.tv. Click on the News tab, and you'll see the News for Your Family section.
Happening now, today marks the 29th anniversary of the Space Shuttle Challenger tragedy.
In 1986, the shuttle exploded 73 seconds after liftoff from Cape Canaveral in Florida. All 7 crew members, including schoolteacher Krista McAuliffe, were killed.
Challenger's crew will be honored during NASA's Day of Remembrance at Arlington National Cemetery later today.
From your local news leader, it's time for Big Board Sports with Eric Sullivan.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's start with a little college basketball. Nobody hotter than the SFA Lumberjacks right now in Beaumont last night, taking on Lamar, trying to make it 16 wins in a row. The threes were falling early. Jared Johnson knocks it down, and then the Jacks defense just turned it up a notch. Trey Pickney gets the steal ahead to JJ, who lays it up in the end. 9-0 lead to start the game. In fact, we get another turnover here by Clyde Clifford. He lays it up and one. The Jacks forced 10 turnovers in the first 8 minutes, and then just before half, with the clock winding down, Connor Brooks pump fake, step back, beautiful follow through, and that is money. Jacks are rolling, folks. That's also 29 straight conference games they've won dating back to last year, 82-65. The final. Longhorns of Texas lost a tough one to Kansas at home over the weekend. They were at Ames last night and made a furious comeback, but they fall short to Iowa State, 89-86. In Gilmer last night, big party. They had a state championship parade with the whole town invited, as all the players from the 2014 state championship team were on hand to get honored one more time. I tell you what, the community of Bullard, hey, they know how to represent and help out and support their football program. 3 state championships now under head coach Jeff Traylor. The players, of course, ecstatic to have a parade in their honor.
Parade was awesome. All the fans coming out to support, all the players coming and showing love, all the cheerleaders, everything. I mean, one last time.
Fans are so good to us. They traveled everywhere we went, and we expected them to be here tonight. So it was exciting. It was nice.
I've had 12 other teams that were great, that were very close. These three just happened to do it, so we're always excited about it.
All right, one little NFL Patriots Deflategate story for you. Yesterday, the NFL said they were zeroing in on, shocker here, the Patriots ball boy, for the one being responsible for, of course, letting the air out for Tom Brady. Nothing confirmed there just yet, but they have found a guy, and they do have some video evidence, they say, as well, supporting their claim. Both teams, the Patriots and Seahawks, have arrived to Arizona. Media Day coming up today, where they'll have over 5,000 media credentialed press people there. So we'll see what happens for you coming up tonight at 6 and 10. No telling what will be asked regarding deflated footballs coming up at Media Day. Everybody enjoy your Tuesday.
You know they'll ask the questions.
Oh, it's going to get asked a time or two. 5,000 credentialed media people.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, it's a chilly start to the workday.
Scott tells us how warm, though, we're going to get this Tuesday. And now it's time to give away our ultimate CBS 19 and Choice Home Care coffee mug. Jeff Berry of Rusk, you're getting one.
It's pretty easy. If you'd like a chance at one, just go to our Facebook page. That's where you can sign up for your chance to win. We give one away every morning.
KYTX CBS 19 News. It's coverage you can count on everywhere.
6:39, we want to answer your water cooler question. Looks like it turned to 6:40, actually. The average person does this about 6 times a week. What do you think it is?
Like this answer. Catch myself doing it every once in a while. Quotes a movie. 6 times a week. I don't know about 6 times a week.
Well, maybe I did whenever I watched movies. Now I don't have time. You know, I probably quote more Disney movies than I do
Really?
anything now.
Well, you know, almost any situation can be handled with a quote from The Godfather.
Well, okay, which one? Now, you can't handle the truth. That's one of my favorites.
That's a good one. That's not The Godfather, but it's a great movie.
I was going on a different movie.
Okay.
I don't know Godfather quotes.
We're going to have to work on that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous day that's shaping up out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Longview sunrise, and it's beauty, Scott.
Yes, indeed, guys. We've got a gorgeous sunrise across all of East Texas. This is Gregg County. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see it. Loop 281, our live weather authority cam in Longview this morning on the north side of the city. Looking off to the east, seeing that spectacular sunrise. Current temperature there at this location, 40 degrees. The wind out of the northeast at right around 4 to 6 miles per hour. The wind relaxes by midday today, shifts around out of a southeasterly direction this afternoon. That'll warm us up. Some mid and high level clouds along the I-45 corridor, kind of the southwestern tier of our viewing area this morning. That'll make for a nice sunrise there this morning as well. We're looking for highs today near 73 degrees. That's where we should land this afternoon, while other parts of the country brutally cold, especially across the New England corridor, where we're talking about historic snowfall across sections of the Northeast. Across the nation's heartland, it's obviously calm and dry there. Pretty nice across the Lone Star State. Some additional clouds and moisture trying to get going out El Paso way over sections of the Trans-Pecos. But our next weather system is now forming over sections of southern Nevada, southern California, and will eventually, by the end of the week, wobble its way in our general direction, increasing our rain chances come Friday night. It will also work in tandem with a cold front on Thursday that's expected to drop across the Red River and cool our temperatures back down to where they should be this time of the year by the tail end of the week. So enjoy the next couple of days. Freezing in the nation's heartland, 33 in Des Moines, 36 right now in St. Louis, 27 in Chicago. You head up to the northeast, this is where it's really cold. 14 degrees in the Snowbelt community of Buffalo there this morning. 15 right now in Boston. They'll continue to see snowfall across the northeast today. Obviously, call ahead if you've got flights anywhere for the most part east of the Mississippi River. There are going to be significant delays in air traffic control and obviously hundreds, if not more, cancellations today across that corner of the world. 44 this morning up in Amarillo, 34, 10 degrees cooler in Lubbock. It's 37 in San Angelo. Waco's in the upper 30s. DFW Airport mid-40s. Off to the east of us, it's 40 right now in Shreveport. Check out our temperatures here locally, here in East Texas. Find your city or one close to you. Nacogdoches is pretty chilly, down to 36. It's 37 in Rusk County and Henderson. Carthage, Marshall, you're both at 41. It's 39 in Atlanta and Cass County. Upper 30s from Mount Pleasant west along the I-30 corridor is Sulphur Springs, where it's currently 44. In your forecast today, hard-pressed to find any cloud cover of any significance today, tonight, or tomorrow. That keeps us under sunny skies, obviously, and a pretty nice forecast to look forward to. Here you go. Upper 40s tomorrow morning on Wednesday. Your afternoon high Wednesday afternoon near about 73. We'll be in the mid-50s on Thursday. We'll cool off Thursday during the day with highs only near 67. By Friday evening, a chance for some rain back across the area. And notice your temperatures heading into the weekend back to where they should be for this time of the year in the lower 50s. On Saturday, a 70% chance for rain, 60% chance overnight Saturday night, and about a 50-50 shot on Sunday. By Monday, the rain moves out of the area. We get a bit of a break, and then additional showers back in your forecast come Tuesday of next week. And next week, look at your highs on Tuesday. We're back down pretty chilly in the upper 40s. That's your 7-day planner. You can check it out on our website, cbs19.tv. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Scott. Happening now, nearly 60 million people are having to obey curfews and stay indoors this morning due to that blizzard warning affecting the northeastern states.
CBS 19's Andrea Martinez is following the story. She joins us now. I can imagine this is causing some major headaches this morning up and down the East Coast.
Definitely, Clint and Dana. Government officials are ordering people to stay off the roads altogether, and a blizzard warning is expected to last through Wednesday. Public transportation and travel has been canceled there to prevent people from getting stuck in the massive blizzard. Snow plows faced the brunt of the northeast blizzard overnight as snow and strong winds battered Long Island.
The wind and visibility and everything, it's not too good.
Police and Humvees patrolled the snow-covered roads as the nor'easter kicked into gear Monday evening, parking itself over the northeast, feeding off the ocean.
Here you can see the spin, right? Look at the tail. This moisture plume goes all the way down to basically Cuba. There is nothing but a lot of available moisture here.
That moisture means snow. Forecasters predict up to 3 feet in some areas. 6 states have declared emergencies. In Massachusetts, Connecticut, and parts of New York, it's illegal to be out on the roads driving.
This is a serious situation. If you violate this state order, it's a possible misdemeanor. It's fines up to $300.
New York City, Boston, and New Jersey suspended travel on all subways, buses, and trains. Airlines canceled nearly 8,000 flights. Massachusetts called up its National Guard as thundersnow was reported near Cape Cod. A big worry still, hurricane-force wind gusts reaching speeds of 75 miles an hour. The blizzard warning will remain in effect until Wednesday.
Well, how long is the warning supposed to last?
It's expected to last through Wednesday, and government officials are telling people to prepare for power outages up until 2 days after the storm.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll be thinking about them. You know, fortunately, I've been reading this morning that it's not as epic as they originally thought, but still a lot of snow.
Still pretty huge.
It's still pretty huge. It's upgraded from a blizzard to a storm, so.
I couldn't even handle that.
No, that's why we live in Texas.
Exactly.
Right?
Our reporters had on 5 layers of clothing this morning.
My goodness.
So, thanks so much, Andrea.
Thank you, guys.
Well, health alerts this morning. Hundreds of lives are saved thanks to blood platelet donations.
Platelets are what helps our blood to clot and slow down flow. Donations typically benefit people suffering from bleeding disorders and those undergoing leukemia, cancer therapy, or recovering from open heart surgery. Now, without people willing to donate blood, red cells, platelets, and plasma, more than 4 million Americans would die each year.
Every single time a unit goes out of this room, it goes to help save or better someone's life. And that feeling you get from that alone, I don't think you can top it.
The maximum amount of platelet donations that you can give in a year is 24. The number of the more popular whole blood unit donations is just 6 times a year.
An online group comes forward claiming responsibility for hacking into the city of Longview's computers. Coming up, the reason behind the hacking.
Also ahead, a transgender woman is found dead in her car after being shot. Now her friends are searching for answers. And we'll have one last look at your forecast, which I assure you is a lot warmer than the Northeast this morning.
You're going to like it. It's everything you need to know before you go right here on CBS 19 this morning.
CBS 19 News, your weather authority for East Texas.
News before you go. Tyler police detectives are searching for clues in the shooting death of a transgender woman early yesterday morning.
Tyrone Lee Underwood, or Ty for short, was found shot to death in her car on 24th Street. Police were called to the neighborhood after a 911 caller thought she saw a car hit a telephone pole and then heard gunshots.
Police say Underwood was shot and then tried to drive away, but her car got stuck in a grassy area. Friends are looking for answers in Underwood's death.
What I can tell you is this is hate. You know what I'm saying? This is something hate because someone was different.
Tyler police detectives say they do have a few leads, but nothing substantial enough for a warrant yet. If you have any information on this, call Tyler Police or Tyler Smith County Crime Stoppers.
A follow-up now on an attempted robbery that ended with a store owner shooting and killing the suspect. Smith County Sheriff investigators say 24-year-old Corvus Butler tried holding up the Mi Pueblo food store on Morningside Drive Sunday night, but we're told the owner was on alert after someone told him that the two suspicious-looking men were asking about what time the store closed. When Butler showed up to the store wearing a ski mask and armed with a gun, the two men exchanged gunfire. Butler was shot and killed. The store owner was not hurt. A grand jury will decide if he'll face charges. Meanwhile, investigators are looking for another suspect, a black man believed to be driving a two-door green Pontiac with tinted windows. He was spotted at the store before the robbery.
An online activist group is claiming responsibility for hacking into the city of Longview's computer information systems in response to last week's deadly shooting at the police station.
We will no longer stand for this.
This is video from someone claiming to be with the notorious hacking group Anonymous. The person in the video says the hacking was done in retaliation for officers using lethal force on children. Early autopsy results show 17-year-old Christiana Coinard suffered multiple gunshots to the chest and torso after walking into the police station with a knife. It's the 7th officer-involved shooting in Longview in 2 years after the city had 0 such shootings for more than 30 years prior to 2013.
We've had several in the last couple of years. We certainly don't train our officers to go out and look for those. We don't train our officers to, only rely on deadly force. They have a lot of options on their belt prior to that.
The Texas Rangers are investigating the shooting. Now, Christy Bryan says it could be several months before the case is presented to a grand jury. Meanwhile, Anonymous claims that it's organizing a rally outside the Longview police station on February 7th.
Breaking news this morning, gunmen have taken hostages at a Libyan luxury hotel. It happened after attackers stormed the hotel. At least 3 guards have been killed by the gunmen. The hotel was evacuated before the attackers clashed with the guards and blew up a car.
A follow-up about the murder of a Kilgore businessman. The search warrant reveals that the man suspected of killing Kilgore saddle maker John Cecil J. Clements Jr. was identified from a sexual assault report filed by the suspect hours before Clements' death. Dustin Lynn Van Halst is in the Rusk County Jail on $1 million bond. Rusk County Sheriff Jeff Price says evidence points to Van Halst as the person who killed Clements at his home on County Road 291 near Kilgore.
A Smith County grand jury no-billed 13 former Smith County jailers who could have faced state jail felony charges for falsifying inmate records. The investigation began in August when Smith County Sheriff Larry Smith learned that jailers were signing off that they checked on inmates when they really didn't. Many jailers resigned or were fired during the initial investigation. The Texas Rangers were brought in for a criminal investigation. Ranger Brent Davis presented the findings to a grand jury, but jurors decided there was not enough evidence to indict any of the former jailers.
We respect their decision. However, that does not nullify the fact that they entered false information onto government documents in violation of policy and state law.
None of those jailers will be rehired by the sheriff's office. Inmates will be moving into the new jail tower in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Sheriff Smith says the design of that building will help supervisors hold jailers accountable.
A new report says 125 people falsely convicted of crimes were exonerated last year in the U.S. The record number of exonerations was due in part to 33 cases in Texas in which people had their drug convictions dismissed after lab tests determined they never had illegal substances. The National Registry of Exonerations report says that there were 34 more exonerations in 2014 than 2013, and previously 2013 had the highest total.
Looking ahead, a civil trial for 17 people who were hurt or had family members killed during a veterans parade is set to begin on Monday. The trial in the lawsuit involves those who did not reach a confidential out-of-court settlement with Union Pacific Railroad. That accident happened in Midland back in 2012. The parade float filled with wounded veterans was hit by a train as it crossed a railroad track. 4 people were killed in the accident. A furniture distribution warehouse catches fire in Lindale, causing more than $1 million in damage.
Thick black smoke could be seen for miles Monday as couches and fabric used to make them burned inside this building on County Road 496. Firefighters from several surrounding fire departments were called out to put out the blaze. The fire was contained, but the building is in danger of collapsing. The owner of the warehouse suffered minor injuries as he tried to move a truck away from the fire.
Well, as you get ready to head out this morning, it's a little cool, but boy, this afternoon looks really, really nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day for people to get out and enjoy it. Maybe take your lunch out, and the kids, they'll enjoy recess.
Yeah, that's exactly right, guys. Enjoy today and tomorrow because changes are in store for us the latter part of the week, but it will feel like springtime across East Texas. We've got a gorgeous sunrise out there this morning. Some clouds across the southwestern tier of our counties, right along and bordering the I-45 corridor and just off to the southeast of there. Mostly sunny skies in the offing for us today. Your day part planner shaping up to look like this. Check out these numbers, if you will. By 10 a.m. this morning, we're up to about 62, 69 at noon today. The wind goes calm around lunchtime today as it shifts around out of a southeasterly direction this afternoon. That southeast wind, a warmer wind, should help warm us up nicely. 71 by 2 p.m. today. Your high today all the way up to 73 degrees, considerably warmer than where we should be this time of the year. We're going to rubber stamp this again tomorrow. How's that sound, guys? Sunshine and 73 again tomorrow on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we get the leading edge of a cooler air mass. It will cross the Red River, move down across East Texas, give us a wind shift, and bring us some cooler temperatures. And some additional clouds on Thursday. We'll call for partly to variably cloudy skies. 67 your high Thursday. By Friday, we get some overrunning moisture in from the southern Pacific. It will stream in from the south and west and give us a slight chance for showers mid to late afternoon Friday, overnight Friday night, and then the tap really gets going Saturday and Sunday, just in time for your weekend. That gives Clint another excuse to stay indoors this weekend and stay out of the yard. Yeah. Absolutely. Be really nice weather for the Super Bowl on Sunday with afternoon highs chilly near 53 and a pretty good chance for some rain. I think we'll see the rain tapering off early Monday morning. We'll get a bit of a break Monday, then another round in here next Tuesday. And it turns cooler Tuesday as well. A reminder that we're still not done with winter, with afternoon highs next Tuesday in the upper 40s. That's your 7-day planner.
Sometimes around here, I feel like February is our cold month. You know,
yes.
we could get snow and all that
it tends to be that way.
That's
At least
when we've had
has
some of our worst winter
absolutely.
weather.
You know, and some of those ice storms, pretty bad. First, say 15 days or so of February. So, it's a cliche, but we're not out of the woods yet. So
no,
hang
we're
on.
not.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
Here's a look at what's coming up on CBS this morning.
Coming up, the blizzard of 2015 brings northeast cities to a standstill. Our crews report from New York to Boston to Maine on this crippling storm. And we'll show you how a new app can help you track which streets are plowed. More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Boy, it's a mess up there this morning.
It really is. Hope everyone just sort of stays and hunkers down at home.
Yeah. It's nice here. Hope you have a chance to enjoy your day. We're so glad you started your day with us.
We'll see you back here in 25 minutes with more news. Enjoy the day. Hope you have a good one.
KYTX CBS 19 News app is brought to you by Hyundai of Longview. You pick it out, we'll work it out. We're KYTX. Texas is in our name.
morning. It is Tuesday, January 27, 2015. Welcome to CBS This Morning. The East Coast under a state of emergency. America's largest city is shut down. We're live from Long Island to Maine.
Plus, only on CBS This Morning, a new warning about X-rays and CAT scans, why patients might be exposed to unnecessary radiation.
A new person of interest emerges in Deflategate, and the Patriots owner demands an apology.
But we begin this morning with a look at today's eye-opener, your world in 90 seconds.